Definitely. Now, the first event, obviously, we spoke about it, Times Square. Ryan will be facing Rolly. A lot of in Vegas, the odds are Ryan's a heavy favorite. So just moving past it, I don't like to look over fighters because Rolly packs a powerful punch. But Ryan versus Devin Haney, the rematch. How do you see that fight playing out? Will it be the same thing without the Austrian, with just a clean fighter? How do you see that fight?
Well, we've got to step first on the way to Ryan versus
Yeah.
Devin Haney, right? And many's the slip twixt the cup of the lip in boxing. You know, we've seen bigger upsets before than the kind of upset that would derail that. I'm sure that both Ryan and Devin are going to be working hard not to look ahead and to focus on the opponent in front of them right now. I'm sure that that's going to be my job too, is to absolutely focus on the two fights that are now taking place and not the one that might be down the road. I'm sure the New York State Athletic Commission is going to want to be sure that it has all of its ducks in a row with regard to testing and other elements going forward toward that fight. But yes, if they can both win and put themselves in position for a rematch, that will be a much ballyhooed rematch, and people will be very, very interested to see it. I, generally speaking, and I'll have to do more homework before I can come down firmly on one side or another, but my general instinct has always been that in battles between the boxer and the puncher, and if you regard Devin as a boxer and Ryan as a puncher, and that's a little bit of an oversimplification for both. But in battles between the boxer and the boxer has the advantage. He's tactical. He's devoted to thinking strategically about the fight. He's not just there to land one big shot. Most punchers aren't there just to land one big shot, but some of them are. But at the end of the day, I thought that Haney had tremendous difficulty handling Ryan's left hook in the first fight. Whether that was because of Oscarine or whether that was because of Ryan's left hook, I guess we're headed forward toward a process by which we're going to find out.
Everyone speaks about the left hook, and I agree with you on the left hook, but Ryan actually dropped Devin Haney once with the right hand as well. So his right hand is just as powerful. It's just it doesn't get the credit that the left hook does.
Well, I think Devin was distracted by the left hook. I mean, it seemed to me to be the quick trigger on the left hook and the massive power on the left hook that were giving Devin the most problem. Yeah, he did get dropped on a right hand too, but that sometimes happens when you're looking for the left hook.
Jim, I think about fights like Julio Cesar Chavez and Meldrick Taylor. You know, Meldrick Taylor, through these flashy combinations, he was winning the entire fight. Richard Steele messed up in the last few seconds, called it off. A lot of people felt that Meldrick Taylor won, but he left a piece of his soul in the ring that night, and he never was the same fighter. Is this might be the case with Devin Haney because he was dropped 3 times, but I saw 5 knockdowns that they didn't really count. The ref didn't count. What do you think? Is he the same fighter, or when you take a bad beating like that?
Remains to be seen. We didn't know that much about Meldrick before the night of the Chavez fight because he had never taken punishment like that in a fight before. I still think, by the way, that it was a bad stoppage. I think that Richard Steele did a massive disservice to Meldrick Taylor's career with that stoppage. But I'm not a referee. I don't make those decisions. I know that crowds in Las Vegas made clear in the 2 or 3 years after that they didn't approve of that decision either. They felt like Meldrick deserved a chance to see the final bell and win the fight. But at the end of the day, we're going to find out whether there's an after effect on Haney, or whether Haney has been able to walk past all of this, say to himself, okay, that was one bad night, occasioned by some skullduggery that I wasn't a part of, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to go back in and box and beat Ryan Garcia. He was the favorite in the first fight. Who knows? He might be favored again. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with regard to betting odds.
Definitely. Well, switching gears, another fighter on that card we spoke about, Tio. Tio slapped Barbosa at the press conference. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's good to promote the event, or that shouldn't be allowed in boxing?
Well, I guess Teo thought so. I guess he thought that he could get headlines or draw more spectators to buy tickets to the fight if he slapped him at the news conference, or maybe he thought that he can intimidate him. Fighters have been doing that kind of thing for more than 100 years, and I don't think it usually redounds to the advantage of the slapper as opposed to the slappee. But we'll see what happens in that fight. I'm more interested in where is Teo now compared to where he was when he beat Lomachenko, and what happened to his skills and to his devotion in those intervening years. Is he still the same Teofimo Lopez, or was there a slippage that led to a loss, a highly unexpected loss, and has left him in the position of needing to climb back up the ladder? We'll find out.
Definitely. Well, Brian and Tio had a heated exchange at the press conference. I don't know if you saw that, but they were going back and forth, and Brian told him, listen, be quiet. We're going to run that. We're going to have that fight as well, you and I. So what do you think about that? A lot of people feel that those are the two best fighters on the card, and then eventually they'll face each other. Tio with his athleticism.
Well, we're going to find out if they're the two best fighters on the card, when that card takes place. I'm not 100% certain that that's the case, but if you say a lot of people believe that, then that's fine. I think, that would be a fight that would get a ton of public attention, and they're both colorful and charismatic fighters. So, yeah, if they win, let's see it.
Okay, definitely. Now, switching gears real quickly, Canelo Crawford. This is the super fight of the year. What are your thoughts? 6 weight divisions. I mean, how will he be able to beat Canelo Alvarez? How would that happen, Jim?
Well, my first thought is whether it's 14 pounds and 21 pounds, it's a big gap. And it's not the kind of gap that fighters are normally able to easily deal with, particularly in the middle range of weight classes. Terence Crawford has not fought at 168 pounds. Terence Crawford, to my knowledge, has fought once at 154 pounds. I saw him at 135, 140, 147. I watched his genesis through those weight classes. I think he's a fantastic fighter. I regard myself as the world's biggest Terence Crawford fan. During the period of time when I was calling his fights on HBO, he rose all the way up to number 1 pound for pound. So I have nothing but the highest opinion of Terence Crawford. But Canelo Alvarez is a different fighter from a different weight class. And, 168 pounds is a long way up from 147. So I've run across a couple of expert opinions who say, oh, yes, Terence will be fine at this weight. He's going to win. And I've run across a couple of other expert opinions that say, what is he, crazy? He's going in against a guy whom he can't hurt. That's the biggest question, is how does Terence hurt Canelo Alvarez, who, to my way of thinking, has the strongest punch resistance in the sport. Great chin, great legs. I think the legs are more of it than the chin per se. But the bottom line is nobody's had him down on the canvas. The only official knockdown ever in Canelo's career was a situation where he got knocked back into the ropes by Miguel Cotto's little brother, and the referee ruled that the ropes had held him up. That's officially a knockdown, but it was debatable in my view. So at the end of the day, I still think that I would say Canelo Alvarez has not been knocked down. He hasn't been genuinely hurt. He fought big guys like Sergey Kovalev, like Dmitry Bivol. He didn't win the Bivol fight, but I didn't think he was badly hurt in the fight. So at the end of the day, he's fought much bigger guys than Terence Crawford and held up to that kind of punishment. I'm not sure what Terence's plan is to win the fight other than a boxing paint job. If if Terrence is going to tell me my way to win the fight is I'm going to outbox him every second of every round and he's not going to find me, that's probably the right plan in my particular view. But, you know, maybe Terrence has something else in mind.
Well, it's like the saying, Jim, a good big man always beats a good little man. But if Terrence Crawford was to be successful, where would this rate him as an all-time great? Moving up 6 weight divisions, beating the great Canelo Alvarez, that big name, the face of boxing. Where would you rate him?
Terrence Crawford?
Yes, if Terrence
Long
Crawford.
history of boxing? Well, he's not Sugar Ray Robinson. You know,
Top five?
but he's
Top five?
Huh?
Top 5 all-time great? Top 10?
Pound for pound. I don't have in my head a pound for pound top 5 or 10 all-time greats. So I haven't gone through the details of ranking Terrence to see where he ranks in my all-time among the fighters I covered. Okay. Among the fighters I called blow by blow for, definitely top 5. And because of his all-around skills and because of his mind, his perfect mindset for boxing and for fighting. I think he's a great fighter.
Definitely. Well, Jim, it's been an honor and a pleasure interviewing you and speaking to you, just chatting with you. I'll see you in Times Square and we'll talk more off the air.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You got it. Johnny Boy Boxing at FightHype.